Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. My marriage to Sarah had been the happiest 4 3/4 years of my life. Funny, since we were married for a full 5. We met because she started a little business going to offices watering plants. When she first came to my department, I was a goner. Head over heels at first sight. She'd just gotten out of a long relationship, and I hadn't dated much. Always been the shy type. She was surprised, even impressed, that someone as young as me had a good job at a big software company. She was curious, asked a lot about stock options and when we might go public. 6 weeks later, she moved in. 6 months after that, we got married. I'm not handy around the house, and for a long time that didn't bother her. But about 3 months ago, Sarah seemed to decide I wasn't manly enough. What that even means changes all the time, right? I'm no handyman, that's for sure. Definitely not an athlete. Never scored a touchdown, but I did ace my math SATs. My sport now is chess. And tough? Nope. I use my brain for work, not muscles I barely have. Only been in one fight, first grade. Lost. But hey, the other kid was older and bigger. She got mad because I told her she had bad breath. Thought I was doing her a favor. That taught me to use my head, not my fists, and maybe not always say what I think. Learning to get along with people turned into a good career. I always thought being a man meant being kind, generous, and smart, not looking for a fight. Sarah used to agree. But lately, her opinion flipped. It worried me. She actually said a real man just takes what he wants and doesn't care who gets hurt. I told her that sounds like a sociopath, not a man. I felt like our marriage was in trouble. After her surgery 6 months ago, I took care of her for over a month. Didn't complain once. Sarah can't have kids now. Doesn't make her less of a woman in my book. And my not wanting to beat someone up doesn't make me less of a man either. We had these big bushes by the house, a fire risk. I told Sarah I'd hire someone to cut them down. She said, all sarcastic, it was time for me to be a real man and do it myself. So, she rented a chainsaw for me to use, like watching me struggle would be her entertainment for the weekend. Along with watching me try to fix the loose carpet in the hall. Every time you stepped on it, you'd slide towards the stairs. Dangerous. Her insults hurt. I told her, and she just laughed that, if the shoe fits. I went to work feeling confused and hurt by her constant put-downs and the way she just didn't respect me anymore. No, I love yous. Just insults. It was like a switch flipped in her head about 3 months ago, turning my loving wife into someone cold. We hadn't been intimate in ages. She was never in the mood. Started eating garlic croutons before bed. And her breath was awful, so I slept on the couch. I begged her to stop with the garlic. But she wouldn't. Every day, I loved her a little less, and it broke my heart. Thinking back, it all changed after her high school reunion. She was in charge of it, had meetings for a month. Insisted I didn't come. I didn't argue, didn't know anyone. She got a hotel room because she knew she'd drink and didn't want to drive. Now, I worried about who she saw there. Maybe an old flame. My love for her was slowly turning into something bitter. My caring into anger. I left for work early that day. I work at a software company in Dallas. Got the job right after college. Out of 10 people interviewed, I was the only one without a fancy degree or years of coding experience. When they asked what I was most proud of, I talked about taking care of my autistic sister, teaching her to read, helping her socialize and take care of herself. I also mentioned taking college classes on teaching autistic adults. Turns out that was the key. I got hired on the spot. My job is managing a team of 10 brilliant but quirky programmers. Neurologically diverse is the polite way to say it. Some are geniuses who can do complex math in their heads but don't understand basic hygiene. Their last 3 managers quit in weeks. I'm more of a life coach for them. But I get paid really well, so I can't complain too much. They're all kind, generous, and amazing problem solvers, just a little different. I'm patient and understanding with them. Our team's work got way better after I started, and our bonuses showed it. That day at work, I wasn't my usual cheerful self, and my team picked up on it right away, which surprised me. Usually, they miss those kinds of cues. I figured, with their crazy high IQs, maybe they could help with my marriage. I told them what was going on at home. James said the garlic thing might be to push me away, or maybe she was just scared of vampires. He pushed his glasses up, pulled out a slide rule, never used a computer, and did some calculations. Looked up and said there was a 42.5% chance Sarah was cheating. The others nodded, argued a bit about the percentage, but agreed it was likely. James asked if Sarah still had her high school yearbook. She did. He said the answer was in there. Ellen told me to check her phone, but James disagreed. Said she'd delete anything bad. Ellen asked if Sarah was tech-savvy. Nope. Ellen still thought the phone was the key. I said it was password protected, and I didn't know the password. Robert, the youngest and most normal of the bunch, asked if she wrote her password down somewhere. Told me to look for a list. James wasn't giving up and suggested I install Wi-Fi cameras at home and GPS in her car. While we talked, Robert ordered all the spy gear online with his own card and had it delivered to the office the next day. He even suggested we switch cars so I could follow Sarah. To thank them, I offered to take everyone to a fancy dinner. They all looked uncomfortable and declined. They wouldn't know how to act in a place like that. They were much happier when I said I'd order pizzas for the office that night. I went home, parked next to Sarah's car and walked in with flowers. Handed them to her while she made dinner. She said thanks, kept ignoring me. No kiss, not even a peck. I went to the bookshelf in our den, saw all our yearbooks covered in dust except for Sarah's high school one. I laid it open on the table. It fell open to a page with a signed photo. Danny Rubin was the name. He was handsome, captain of the hockey team. He wrote, "To the love of my life, from your eternal boyfriend." Looking closer, they were predicted to marry, Sarah to become a movie star, Danny a famous hockey player, a Stanley Cup winner. They were also voted most affectionate couple at prom. That probably meant they were intimate that night. The reunion program was tucked inside. Danny was listed as one of the organizers along with Sarah. So they'd been spending weeks together. She never mentioned him. A quick online search showed Danny was recently married. He'd signed a big contract with the local hockey team, starting in 3 months. I had enough to suspect cheating, but no real proof. I wasn't about to start a war based on a hunch. Sarah's password list wasn't hard to find. Taped under her mousepad. Her phone confirmed it. She was cheating with Danny, her high school sweetheart, her lover until he left for a Canadian college with a great hockey team. He only came back when he signed with our local team 2 months ago. Some people get brave with booze. My kind of bravery came from pure anger at being cheated on. I'd never been this mad. The rational part of my brain lost to this violent, vengeful caveman side I didn't even know I had. The next day, all the spy stuff arrived. I left work early, got home before Sarah to set it all up, hooked it to our Wi-Fi. My phone would buzz if there was any movement, but I never got to use it. Sarah came home much later, 3 hours after usual. Didn't call, didn't answer when I called. I didn't even ask where she'd been. What was the point? She'd just lie. I lied too, told her I had to go out of town the next day, wouldn't be back till late. The trap was set. The next morning, I drove to work, then switched cars with Robert. I parked across the street under a big, droopy tree. Baseball cap, sunglasses, fake mustache, the whole deal. I listened to an old R&B song called Backstabbers. Seemed fitting. Then what becomes of the broken-hearted? I watched Sarah drive home early. A newish sports car followed her. A tall, muscular guy who looked like an older, slightly balder Danny from the yearbook got out and went inside. Sarah opened the door. No hugging or kissing outside, but maybe they were being careful. Or maybe it was just a friendly visit. I tried to connect to the camera in our bedroom on my phone, but it wasn't working. Waited half an hour, then walked around the side of the house to the bedroom. Our house was on a hill. You could enter the second floor from the top through a sliding glass door. The blinds were open enough to see inside. What I saw made me sick. Sarah, the woman I loved, was face down on our bed with Danny on top of her, under the red silk canopy. I sat down next to the bush I was supposed to chainsaw that weekend, trying to breathe. My nausea turned into burning rage. I quietly unlocked the sliding door. Then I picked up the chainsaw, primed it, and pulled the cord. It roared to life. I pushed open the door, revved the saw, and cut through 2 of the wooden posts holding up the canopy. Watched it crash down on them. Over the noise of the saw, I heard them screaming. Danny scrambled out from under the fallen fabric. He was huge, a foot taller than me, all muscle. He glared as I yelled I was going to saw off his you-know. He was bigger and faster. He lunged, grabbed the chainsaw from me. Suddenly, he had the weapon. He started chasing me, calling me names. I ran out of the room towards the stairs. I might not be strong, but I'm fast. I was careful not to slip on the loose carpet. Made it to the bottom. Turned towards the front door. Danny wasn't so lucky. He didn't know about the carpet. He slipped, tumbled down the stairs, still holding the running chainsaw. I heard a horrible scream and saw his leg fly to the side. Sarah ran down the stairs, naked, and grabbed her bleeding lover. I don't know how I thought of it, but I took a video of Danny with the chainsaw next to his severed leg. Didn't want the cops thinking I did it on purpose. As I zoomed in, I saw most of his manhood lying there too. He wouldn't be sleeping with my wife or anyone else again. I didn't want him bleeding to death in my house. I told Sarah to tie something around his leg while I called for an ambulance and the police. I never knew I could be so spiteful. As Sarah used a towel as a tourniquet, I pointed out Danny's you-know-what and stomped on it, turning it into mush. Guess the doctor won't be reattaching that, I said. I taunted them both. Hope it was worth it, Danny. Last time you'll ever be Danny down there in Dallas. Good luck playing hockey with one leg. Danny was in too much pain to answer, but Sarah flipped me off. Hope you and Tiny will be very happy together, I replied. I ran upstairs, ripped out the hidden cameras, went outside, and put them in the neighbor's trash. Didn't want them used against me. The police questioned me for an hour. I told them I came home to cut the bushes, found them in bed. Danny grabbed the chainsaw, attacked me, chased me down the stairs, and he slipped. They seemed to believe me, even had trouble hiding their laughter. The next day, I asked Sarah if she was leaving me for Danny. She said no, he'd lost the only two things she cared about: his you-know-what and his hockey career. No remorse, no apology for cheating. She suggested counseling. I said no way. I was filing for divorce. Danny was a local sports hero. The story blew up on the news. Sarah became a pariah and moved away after the divorce. Her last words to me at the courthouse were a final, cruel twist. She put her hands under her chest and gave me this evil grin. Everything I'm about to say is true. First, you're autistic. You're the only one who doesn't know it. That's why you're good at your job. That's why you never realized I never loved you. You were just a meal ticket with stock options. I was going to settle until Danny came back, and he'd soon have even more money than you. I cheated because no woman would want kids with an autistic weirdo like you. Guess that makes you not much of a man. I was furious, searched for the meanest thing I could say. Well, by that logic, since you can't have children, you're not much of a woman. Her face froze. I turned and never looked back. The divorce cost me a lot, but it was worth it to get rid of that cheating person. To celebrate, my team got pizza and rented the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They now call me Leatherface. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.